Yo, what up? What up? Welcome back, everyone, to the Model Car Culture Podcast. Tonight, for episode 277, we're joined by a talented model builder from Texas whose work brings a forward thinking approach to the hobby. Our guest tonight is Bullitt 87, known for building custom, high end, and drift inspired scale cars with clean execution and strong attention to detail. We'll be talking about his journey, his creative process, and what continues to inspire his builds. Please welcome to the show, Bullitt 87. What's
Go. Let's
up?
go.
What's up, man? How you
Let's
doing?
go. What's up, man? It's been a journey.
Yeah,
It's
nice,
been a
nice,
big
man.
journey.
That's what's up. Yeah, man. I was, I've been checking out some of the stuff you've been doing,
Yeah.
and I was like, yo, like it's been a minute since we've had you on. But from that time, I mean, you were already doing some very forward thinking
Yeah.
builds, and even when you were out here in California, we saw you at the NNL.
Yeah.
But fast forward to now, I mean, the just the stack of models that have been completed
Hmm.
and the photos you sent me over, I was like, oh, dude, I'm excited. I'm excited to show everybody
Yeah.
these right here, man. So that's cool. So everybody, you know, we're broadcasting here in LA, California, and we're connecting right here with Bullitt 87 all the way in Texas. What city? Can you tell us what city you in right now?
I am in Houston, Texas. The surrounding Houston area, not directly in Houston, but I'm Houston, Texas.
Right on. Awesome, man. That's cool. And not too long ago this year, there was also the model show that was put together out in Texas as well. I saw there
Yes.
was like a lot of support, a lot of people from Texas that were
A
there,
lot
and
of
and
people.
also other friends from out of state that also came over
Hmm.
to support and be there at the show. Can you tell us about the show? How was it?
The show it felt like a high school reunion, to be honest. It was like a bunch of like friends just coming together to like show off like all their like really good work that they've been doing over the years, if not like year, because we've been like planning. I think the show. It's been a year since we've been planning the show, but we changed some things like maybe a couple of months before the show because there's some things we wanted to like figure out. And the show, like, it was still a good turnout. Like there was so many different like types of builds. um with work and travel and stuff like that, it I still was able to manage completion of like a couple of builds and still being able to like judge and like kind of like do a bunch of things that like I was really just wanting to be there to just hang out. And the show, like, it was one of the shows that like I wish was a bigger event and longer, because it could have been like one of those shows, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a trip, man, because you do travel a lot throughout the U.S. and
Yeah.
sometimes I see you. You're out in L.A. out of nowhere, then you're
Yeah.
you're out in Florida, then you're in
Yeah.
different states. You're like in
Yeah.
different parts, and I'm like, dude, how do you find the time to even work, build? And I always
Yeah.
wonder, like, I wonder if he takes his models with him on the road and
Yeah.
it is like at a spot and like, all right, cool, let me work on some stuff and just bring it along. How's that process for you? When do you find the time to
Yeah.
work on your builds?
So that process, you have to be like mentally unstable. I would say that you have to be a little mentally unstable, because like most people that I've learned, when they travel to shows, they foam, they package, they towel, they crate, they do all this stuff to package their builds, and then they keep them with me. I do the same thing. Like I do the exact same thing. I'll take these boxes, I'll put them in my duffel bag, but they're like, actually, here's like the types of boxes that I'll like put them in. And these boxes, right? The models will fit perfectly in these boxes, and I'll have two of these in each actual singular box. And it's all foamed up, it's perfect, everything's good to go. And the box is actually about this big. This is the box, if it doesn't fall. So this is the box. And I put two of these containers in there. The model's on one container foamed up, and then all the parts that I'm needing are going to be in the lower box. with everything I need. And then all the tools and stuff is in my carriage, so I don't have to worry about checking and anything like that. That's the best way I figured when traveling, because I travel so many different places and I don't know where I'm going to be going. I don't know the type of place I'm going to be going. So like I don't try and change any of the ways that I travel with the stuff because anything can happen. Like recently, there was a situation that happened where I still traveled the same way. I did everything the same as usual, but for some reason, I was heading to uh, I can't even remember specifically where I was, what area I was going to, but I had a stop in Atlanta, and the Atlanta airport is hit and miss. Like it's it's
It's
like
huge, bro.
yeah, like it's hit and miss. So um, I had my duffel bag, and mind you, my duffel bag isn't that big, so it's not like we're like, oh hey, I'm gonna need you to check that. It's more like it's a carry on. It's like smaller than a carry on. And so I had my backpack and like my duffel bag, and then there's like other people who have like their like big like briefcase looking like carriages, and then their hard shell carriages, things that are bigger than this duffel bag. And the lady was insistent. She was like, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to check that bag." And I'm like, "No, like this is a carry on. It can fit above the compartments." And she was like, "Yeah, but we're running out of space." I'm like, "Man, like, there's no way I'm putting this in there." I was like, "Everything in here is fragile. Everything in here is fragile." And she was like, "Yeah, I'll just make a note of it and I'll like make sure that they take care of it." And I'm like, "All right." And this was like right after the show. This was like right after the show in Dallas or Denton. And I was like, cool, I'm gonna like, like get to the hotel and I'm gonna finish working on this car and everything's gonna be good. I even brought the 61 Impala that I was working on, the Cadillac I was working on, and I want to say that was it. No, there was like a Camaro that I was working on too. So like there's nothing that like any of this was gonna like be like, oh well, we need to check it because it may be too heavy. No, this was a perfectly fine bag. So they write on the tag and they're like a lot of fragile parts, and then they sign it, and then like they wrap the tag on it, and then like it's by the door. So I'm like, cool. I hope they take care of my bag. I get off of the at my stop, and I think I really want to believe that I was stopping in.
Dennis just commented. He said it was Ohio.
Oh
You were going to
yes,
Ohio.
I
That's
was
it.
I was in not Columbus. I was in Toledo. I think it was Toledo. No, I was in Ohio. I had just went to Ohio. That's what it is. And I was, yeah, because okay. I was in Florida and I was going from Fort Myers to Ohio, and the stop was in Atlanta. And then I was going to Ohio. I was, I was like, cool, like I got my duffel bag, got my other bag. And by the time I get to the hotel, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people seen this by then, but I like pulled everything out and I'm like, none of this stuff should make any sound. Like it shouldn't sound like, like it shouldn't sound like this. Like
Yeah.
nothing should sound like that,
All
right?
loose. Yep.
And I was like looking and I was like, nah, there's no way. And I like opened the box and I was just like, oh, okay. I was like, all right.
Did everything get all thrashed in there?
Everything was like destroyed. Like it in the video you couldn't see how bad it was. But in person, there were A pillars were broken, B pillars were broken. Um, like there was a lot
Dang.
of broken parts. There was like
Yeah.
as if they took my duffel bag and like tossed it across to another person. They tried to catch it and they probably like missed it
Hmm.
and like dropped it on concrete. And it seemed like they like I don't know
Uh.
what happened, but they like
Yeah.
crammed it into a small spot just to see if it'll fit. and like a couple of the kit boxes was bent, and like you can see it was like drastically bent. Like, and I was like,
What the heck?
What were they doing? Because it's like it says that it's fragile on the bag. There is tags on it, and I was like, did they not care? And I was like, so I called them and I said, hey, I just got my bags, and I was told it was gonna be taken care of, but all of my stuff is damaged. And I told the lady that everything in this duffel bag is fragile, and she made a note of it, and she was like, oh, um, well, we usually don't control like who puts the baggage in, and I'm like,
Oh man, that sucks. You
and
couldn't even like take out one item from the thing because there's so many items like
yeah,
in the duffel bag, so it wouldn't
and
make
so she
sense.
said she like the reasoning why she wanted me to like put the bag in like under storage was because there may not have been enough storage on top, and I was like, I was one of the first groups to go in, so like I could sit anywhere I want to, first off, and
Mm,
two, it fits perfectly in any plane type,
dang.
from the like smaller like airliners
Hmm.
that have like the two rows of seats, little like smaller jets, to like the three rows on each side. And I was like, this bag fits anywhere. And I was like, you still had people that couldn't even fit any baggage, and they were bigger bags, and they still tried to cram the stuff up top. And so I was like, all of my stuff's broken. And she was like, well, is there a way we can like compensate you and give you mileage? And I was like, there's no way. There's no way you could.
Mileage, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you can't. No, man, it just doesn't make
That
any
yeah,
sense.
that doesn't add up,
And
dude.
so they were
That's
trying to
crazy.
refund me like baggage and all this other stuff,
Hmm.
and like give me mileage. And I was like, that doesn't give me that back. That doesn't give me these models back. Because one, the Mustang model kit, I personally haven't found yet again because I've had it for so long. And then the Eldorado is the Johan Eldorado kit. So it's like if I try and find that kit again, I guarantee you that's going to be really expensive.
Yeah, at least more than a bill or
Yeah.
two bills, like a cool one, like a nice
Like,
a
like if
nice one.
somebody was generous enough and had one and was like,
Yeah,
"Oh yeah, I have an extra one," and like wasn't trying to like charge me like two bills for it,
yeah.
hey, I would have like taken it. I'm like, "Cool, I
Hmm.
got an extra one just in case if this one actually doesn't work out."
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's a trip because things that get broken, obviously we can't get it back.
Yeah,
It's just another way of being like, all right, well, I can't change the past. This happened. Now I got to find a way
yeah,
to fix it, or you know, maybe fix it in the future. Maybe right now is
yeah.
not the time because this right here just is just bothering me. But maybe later. But from what I see though, like the models we've done, I'm like, yo, like
Yeah.
I know that you could definitely create something creative like
Hmm.
out of it, even though it could be. I look at it as like a detour for you. Like you're gonna find another way to be like,
Yeah.
all right, let me figure something out right here. Real quick, let me give a shout out to everybody who's jumping in on the chat
Let's
because we
go,
got some homies right here. We got Carlos Avelar, what's up? We got Shadow Den, that's AKA Dennis Matthews,
Dennis.
Monomesqua, OmniWorks, Lane Low Hobbies, and also Vision 124 and
Oh
John
snap!
Pohl.
Oh
What's up, man?
snap!
What up? So let's go ahead and
I haven't
let's
seen
kick.
Jorge in a while.
Nah, well, I saw him not too long ago at the
I
Acme
miss
show.
I miss him.
Dude, I wish you would have been able to go to that.
I wish I was. I had to cancel my PTO because I had to work.
Yeah, dang, you got a handle right there. Not
Yeah,
right on. So everybody, I'm gonna bring up the first model. This is the first
that's cool.
showcase of the builds. This one here is a Liberty Walk Huracan.
Yep.
This one's called Trek or
Trek
Trekker.
R. No, no, yeah,
Trek
yeah. You're
R.
good.
Dang.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Trek R.
Cross country concept. Let's pull up the first image here, and I'm gonna be flipping through the images, and you tell us about
Yeah.
the car. All right, let's go.
Sweet. So like, with the couple of bills that you're gonna bring up, this one was bringing like like a couple of passions, right? Where I think you started to get into it, and Dennis is obviously into it too, and that's building Gundams. And so like I took this kit and some inspiration from Liberty Walk on one of their builds or custom builds for like SEMA. I think it was a long time ago. And the premise of this whole situation is I wanted to take a stealth fighter system, Gundam system, and then kind of like give that like they call it Street Fighter style, and it's low, wide, and like kind of has like a really like aggressive stance to it. So like I combined all of that. So like the Gundam aspect is like you'll see like some of the decals from like Gundam figures that I use to give like little like aspects of like, oh, this is this for this, and this is this kind of like warning for this could be hot, this could be a sharp area, this could be like um a high pressure zone, or like things like that. And then I hand drew, mind you, every single line of the topographical map, because that's like a stealth fighter, like how do I put it, like a display. Like if you're in the Air Force or something like that, and you're looking at like different like terrains, you looking at the topographical map or looking for charting or things like that. And that's where this whole like kind of energy came from. And I gave like the motions of like the actual like panels in the back to like open and close for like heat dispersion, like a Gundam or like a jet, like an F-35 would, or an F-22 would. So that kind of gave each theme its own like fighter jet style. Kind of like playing with the Liberty Walk, like standing out of the norm kind of like build. And this was like that. Like it took me a while to actually to build this, and my friends were hounding me about finishing the Lambo. When are you going to finish the Lambo? When are you going to finish the Lambo? And I was like, oh, I gotta wait for moving. So then I was in the process of moving and had to move a lot of stuff. And then this car kind of took a hold for like, I think it was like 2 years. I kid you not. This was like a 2 year process, only to finish it within like a month. And I think I was waiting on paint because Splash Paints had like certain colors that I wanted. And then some things are sold out on your website. So I was like kind of like in that range. And then I was also like working nonstop. So that was a big issue for me, until like I just said, you know what, just take it with you, finish it, do all the paint work. Originally, the color was supposed to be gold, fading into like a silver, but then like it was just too bland. So like I gave like this like pearl like kind of like mixture to it, and then added more, kept adding, and then started drawing the topographical map. And there's like some Easter eggs in the build that like only I would know that are Easter eggs, but like there's like little things in there that like give that me factor that like you'll see on all of my builds, that has like little Easter eggs that you have to find if you go to the shows. That's only if you go to the shows that you'll see. Oh, okay, I see what he's talking about. There's little snippets of some style right there. The wheels I got from Texas 3D Customs. I was testing to see if the wheels would actually work. I wasn't sure that they would work or not, but they came out perfectly fine. And yeah, everything about this build was like, all right, I think I've gotten my style back on years ago of like building like something crazy and kind of like wild. And I needed to kind of get back into that. And then so this was that call to um bringing back a Lamborghini essence from the truck to now like just building the cars, because I've always wanted a Huracan or a Gallardo. So like if I could own one, if I could easily own a Huracan, I would daily drive it like it is a truck. No joke. And I would probably drive it just like this. Like this, just like this. Just like that.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, this model, I remember when you started sending me some mock-ups and with the wheels and when it
Yeah,
was just in primer, man, and I was like, yo, this is dope. I really like the back, how you're saying how everything opens up, for like the engine
yeah.
or like you said, the concept of like the Gundam, right? I
Hmm.
do visualize all that right there that's on here. And the wheels on the hoops so those are 3D printed? I thought they
Yeah.
were like aluminum.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Those are 3D printed, and what I had to do, um, I wouldn't say polish them, but I did a silver brush, and then I cleared it, and then I polished it, and then I did it again, and it came out like it came out just the way I wanted it.
That's
Like
dope.
it was just one of those things that like I did first before even painting the wheels. I didn't even know what color I was gonna paint the wheels.
Hmm. Yeah, because when I would see it in the mock-ups, that was my first thing. I thought, oh, those hoops are probably like aluminum and they've been polished. But yeah, it looks really nice. I always get those questions like, do you ever clear coat over the chrome? Whenever you're using
Yeah.
any type of chrome, I always get that. And for the most part, I don't. I usually just paint the parts and just put them
What
on.
I've learned, it depends on the type of clear coat because you can use gloss varnish. It just takes a longer time to like dry, but you can use the gloss varnish and it'll actually like give a gloss over it. Only because like some of the chrome like material, it like if you use like a 2K gloss, it like eats away at like the finish or something like that, and then it turns into like a gray. But if you use like yeah, like a varnish from like Vallejo or something, it will, trust me, it will be nice.
It's a lot better.
Yeah,
No, it's cool. The front hood, I like how this is all opened up. It's all exposed
yeah.
right there.
Because the
For
kit, like if you like, I think you have the no,
Yeah,
you have
I
the
I
other kit.
built I built the first one, the one
Yeah,
without the wing in the back, like
yeah,
that, like sticking out. But I want to say that I mean they're pretty similar.
they're
Later,
pretty
I'll,
similar.
I'll I'll bust mine out later. Do you
Yeah,
have it in front of you?
not directly, but it's
Okay,
right
okay.
here.
All right, E, bust it out. Let's see it.
Yeah.
Let's check it out here. Let me we're gonna zoom in right now. He's gonna bring out all the goods right
So
here.
yeah. So I
Let's
got
see.
I got
All
the
right, let's.
paperwork, and then I have a sneak bill coming.
Ooh, look at that. Damn, the
Cause,
combo right
cause
there.
yeah, cause this is the one that has like all the functioning stuff, and then clearly this one is the same exact car, just has all the details.
Hey, I was gonna tell you too. You might want to look up the PE set for those, or for whichever one you're gonna do. They
Yeah,
there's a PE set on that because when I was working on mine, I was like, oh man, these wheels are huge, right? They're
yeah,
big, but how am I gonna like I like the way the model looked, but something about the wheels, I was like, it
yeah,
still looks a bit plasticky, like
yeah. The
toyish kind of.
wheels are
So
not.
so when I got the P set, I used the disc brakes, weathered them, did like a panel line wash and everything. And when I slapped those on there, I was like, oh man, it just made it more official for me right there. Uh, but yeah, you could definitely use that on there. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll zoom in on you right here.
Okay, give me a second.
Yeah, and then what's up, Pink Maverick? And then we also got Jose Salgado. What's up, man?
I
Thanks for
forgot
joining
it's
us right
still
here.
packed up in
Ooh, let's see.
packaging. I forgot that I didn't unpack it as soon as we got back from the show.
Dang, it's been waiting. It's like bust me out. What the hell?
Right?
Why am I in here?
It's literally just like that. Just
Right.
like that.
Yeah. While you're doing that, in a little bit, while we're showing yours, I'm gonna look for mine right now. Bust that one out right there. I've been wanting to build another one. I don't know if I'm gonna do the same or maybe a different version from the Liberty Walk series
Yeah.
because there is a lot of them, and I really like the wheel technology as far as like the chassis, how you could camber the wheels,
Yeah.
like the axles, and like I would hope they would bring that out more with a lot of their cars. Oh yeah, let's see.
Oh. Oh, and like you can't tell, but there's like carbon fiber under here. Like no one can really see that, but there's like it's only if you're at the show, like you'll see that it's carbon fiber. Yeah, like it's just one of those things that like you just have to be there.
And you put that underneath the hood,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
okay.
it's underneath the hood.
Oh,
I
nice.
mean, but you can't see it because it's
Yeah.
just gray. And then the jet bag is pretty much the same. It has the topographical map on it too.
Oh, there it is, guys. Check that out right there. Nice.
So yeah. And then the this is magnetic.
Oh, that's cool. So you put the magnets inside and
Yep.
on the piece there
Yeah.
to make that contact.
And then
Oh,
so
that's
yeah.
so dope, dude. That's cool. Did you have to hinge that in the back to make that happen?
No, I I fooled it. I took like the actual piece that's on it. I'll take out because they're removable. Like pretty much these are all removable. Because if I wanted to do the glass pieces, I'll pretty much like pull them out and then just use the glass pieces pretty much.
Did
Because
you ever
it's carbon
um
fiber under there and it's painted.
oh, that's dope. Did you ever have an issue with the front window when you were putting the front window on?
No, surprisingly. Because since I cut all of this out, I
Hmm.
actually had to make all of that out of styrene.
Mm.
So like everything that's right here is all made out of styrene.
Yeah, I ran into an issue with mine on the one that I was working on. I had you test fit everything, but
Yeah.
then I painted, clear coated, and when I went back to test fit the glass, it wouldn't lay down flat. It was always popping up. Like there was a lot of tension.
Ah,
So I was like, "Oh, dude, what the heck?" So it kind of defeated me there for a bit. I was like, "All right, I need to take a break from this build. I don't want to mess with it." Just because I thought this was gonna just fit in,
hmm,
because it's not like the glass where you put it from the inside of the model of the body, right?
yeah.
It's this lays over up top, and I thought, oh man, this is kind of whack for me at the moment. But then I figured out how to get it fitting. I had to cut a portion of the glass and then clean around, and then it fit in there. All
So
right, let's
yeah.
see this.
Oh, it's a little finicky, but you can see.
That's cool, man. Nice.
And then on the inside, I did like a like a tan brown, like a King Ranch leather color, and some grays, kind of like give like that like really cozy luxury like feel to a Lamborghini, but then like kind of give that like raw like element to it. Because that's just I don't know. A lot of thought processes. Like if I really own this car, like these are the details that like was like, I need this color seat, I need this material for the seats only. I don't want to have like you like, oh, like this is gonna be a premium. No, 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 no. Bare bones, but I like these specific colors, right? But the downside to me opening the hood was like headlights, the headlight like kind of like shroud didn't fit because I did everything too good as far as like the styrene. So like when I was putting like opening that up and like doing everything, I was like, oh, okay, put in the headlights. But then I was like, oh crap, like this isn't fitting because like
Hmm.
I have a styrene piece there, so now I have to cut things open, I have to cut things off, and then I have to figure out how to do this, and then like it worked, but then the like the lens piece is supposed to snap in there and like lock in, and I cut too far on the lens piece, and so like there's like a little hole, but it adds to its charm, I guess. But yeah, overall, like the car is pretty chill. I like it. I mean, would I do it again? Yes. Would I want to do it again? Probably if I wasn't traveling.
Yeah.
But overall, the car's pretty chill. The car's pretty dope.
Nah, man, that's dope right there. Yeah, I can see now more of the interior there,
Yeah.
the different color tone. So this build during the build process, this was also one of those builds you were traveling with.
Yes. This was the one that I was in Ohio with for the most part. I was in Ohio for like 3 months, it seems. And so luckily, I brought this with me because I said I need to get that car done. And I did all the paint work while I was at home first. I mean, I did all the paint work. And then I did the drawings. And then when I did leave, when it was time for me to leave, that's when I started doing like all the hand painting and like all the little like decals here and there and stuff like that. So I wouldn't like be too overwhelmed if like, oh, if something happens, the car is pretty much solid. Like not too much of this car can break because it's literally just a snap, not a snap kit, but it's borderline a snap kit.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, man, that car is
Mm,
so
root
cool,
beer.
man.
But
The
yeah,
what kind of marker are you using or pen? What is the tool that you're using for that design? And I'm gonna let me pull up a photo again, so this
yeah.
way everyone who's watching can see the what I'm talking about here, what you had described earlier. So we'll pull up this one again. Here, let me get it. There we go.
So I use at Hobby Lobby they have one of my favorite art pens because I mean one of my first passions have always been art anyway, and I've always used these markers only because of my sixth grade art teacher. My sixth grade art teacher, Mr. Wilson, from my middle school. Whoever, if Mr. Wilson somehow stops and like watches this video, shout out to you because you were the guy who like skyrocketed my art career into like the universe because this guy showed me how to airbrush, showed me how to like
Oh dang.
draw a straight line. He showed me how to like do all these different things because he saw my potential in sixth grade. And he was like, hey, here's this Rat Fink magazine. Here's this airbrushing magazine. He even showed me lowrider bicycle magazines and lowrider magazines, stuff like that. Cause he grew up in that era, like as far as like an artist. And so like he showed me this pen and like they come in a package of different sizes. But he showed me this pen and it's a micron pen. I don't know if you can see that. It's
Let me
like,
pull you up. There we go.
yeah. So it's this
Number
pen.
three.
So they come in different sizes. So this is number 3 that I used. I used the number 5. You can see that.
Yeah,
And then it's funny that they're like right next to me.
that's cool. Hey, they're
Um,
ready, on deck.
so yeah, there's a slew of these pens, right? And they also come with like brush versions of these pens. And they're all in different sizes. So you got like 01, 005, 08, 02, 03, 05. And then they have the brush stroke one. And these were the only things that I used for the topographical map on the surface. And they do smudge depending on how you're doing it, but they dry fast. So like it's an ink. So like they'll stain or they'll like be perfectly fine at the same time. And yeah, so like it's just one of those things that like I didn't think about. I really didn't think about it. I just was like, how am I going to do a topographical map? But then I didn't want to do permanent marker or Sharpie because it leaves that like purple like tinge to it sometimes.
Mm.
So I was thinking of like everything. I was like a paint marker, and I was like, sometimes paint markers they don't work all the time. And then I was like gel pens, and I was like, oh, gel pens work, but not all the time and not on all surfaces. So then yeah, those micron pens were like the goat. They were the the case. That was the case that like worked in a sense.
Yeah, I need to get some. I don't have any in my collection, but they do
Yeah.
look dope. You know, as for when I look at this, right? I look at the body and I'm
Yes.
examining like, all right, the layers, right? So we have
Yeah.
like the base, and is it base? Then you do the artwork with the pen, and then you do the waterslide decals, and then after, did you have to top coat it to lock everything in to make sure, like,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So I did base colors. I did the base colors first, and that they changed like two different times. So like the base color, the color that you see now is a mixture of Millennium Jade Green and Opal Black 2, which is like a Midnight Purple 3, but it's only in flake. Which you can like, it's like if you were to see it in person and certain lighting, then you're like, oh,
Hmm.
okay, I can see the color shift because it
Yeah, because
goes.
the right now that you mentioned Millennium Jade, okay, I do
So
see
yeah,
some of
like so
the
I
DNA in there on
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. I always have like either some JDM or some things that I put together. There's always like some call to something that I've referenced to, or kind of like lifestyle that I kind of like I'm surrounded by. There's always something in every single build. Always.
Hmm.
Not one build has something that I don't call to something else that I'm surrounded by. Um, which we'll talk about in later on. There's like a special build that I'm gonna start on soon that
Yeah,
I can't wait to start on it.
nice, dude. This next one, I'm really excited. I think this would be the great time to transition into this next build,
Yeah.
and this is the Vertex. All right, right now that
Ooh,
you just brought
yeah.
up the Micron, we're talking about that.
Hmm.
This is like a recent build that just got posted and everything, and
Yeah.
man, this one's so cool. So let me bring this one out and tell us about this build. This is the D1 GPPS 13
Yes.
Vertex
That's what
240
I'm. Yeah.
SX.
Yeah. That's what I'm. Oh no, no, no. That's the Mustang actually.
Oh, wait a
That's the
minute.
Mustang. No, no, no. You're yeah.
Wait. So is this the Attack R?
Yeah. This is the Attack
Oh,
R. This
dang.
is
All
the
right, all
Time
right.
Attack Mustang.
Let me see.
It's behind. It's like.
Let me let's do
Yeah.
this one then, the Mustang.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
All right.
this is the most recent one that we just finished for
For
the
the build off,
model
right?
car build off. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the IMSA Mustang GT Attack R Time Attack package.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yeah.
take it away.
This is the one that got destroyed. Thank you, TSA. This is the one that like I didn't think was ever gonna make it. To be fair, like this is the one that like I was pouring like a lot of energy into, because when we talk about like build off like ideas and stuff like that, I've always wanted to go to this show, and it's SEMA. It's the SEMA build off that we like to host. And I always want to, like, every chance that I can, I always want to go to the SEMA show. I always want to just go to the SEMA show and just look at all the like really cool builds, because then I can get ideas on models or anything like that. And I didn't know what I was gonna build. I really didn't know I was gonna build for the show. For the build off, actually, I take that back. For the build off, I didn't know what I was gonna build. I was actually gonna build a large scale vehicle, but like that's against our rules. And so I was like, sweet. Now like I need to like go into my like stash and see what I have that like makes sense for a SEMA build that wouldn't make sense anywhere else. So then I looked, I just glanced and I was like, where did that car come from? And why do I have this? And I can't remember where I got this kit from, but I've had it for a long time. Yeah. And I immediately started, I didn't overthink it. I just said, I know what I'm gonna do with this car. I was like, I'm gonna pretty much follow the same pattern that I did with the Lamborghini. I'm gonna do a theme for it, but it's gonna be, instead of just only road, it's gonna be like all just straight up like racing, and like carving canyons and like like all this other stuff. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna stick to the topographical theme, but I'm actually gonna put like some roads on there, and I'm gonna put like little like Easter eggs in there too that like makes it seem like it's just been through heck and back. And so I was like, cool, I already got the theme, I got the idea. I don't know how I'm gonna execute, but um yeah, that's when I was like, all right, have I seen a time attack Mustang? I couldn't I didn't even um I didn't Google enough. Pinterest is my main thing where I get ideas.
Mhm.
If you see me on my phone a lot, I'm usually on Pinterest, like just thumbing through like ideas, like oh, like um, let me see what like this. And I mind you, when I posted about this car, I didn't post anything about the car. I posted like materials, or I posted like little things that like, oh, this is gonna be the color of the theme. And I think I posted a carbon fiber shark with a uh stone that was like either being laser cut or something like that. And then I had like some random things like gold, like suspension links or something like that, and like random things from the Make Haste Corp or Ashthorpe, which is another inspiration of like a lot of my model building. Ashthorpe, if you guys look at their like YouTube channel or go on their Instagram, it's called Make Haste Corp or Make Haste Co. And they do a lot of really good automotive rendering, which is one of my also other passions that I've grown up to do on the computer is 3D modeling. And so they had a Saab that they designed and developed. And this was also a piggyback on that too. Cause I was like, oh, that would actually be super sick if I like took that same style. This Mustang looks very similar to the body style. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna bring some of their characteristics into this car and try and figure out how to do a full time attack build on this car. So it just I was like brainstorming. My brain was actually hurting because I was in the middle of travel. I was in Virginia Beach for like 3 weeks. It seemed like it was like actually I was in Virginia Beach for a long time too,
Mhm.
um, working on this car. And then I think I was in Ohio also when I was working. I started working on this car. I was in Ohio, and so this car was actually traveling with me for a while too. And then the pieces started to like kind of like work. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just stick to two colors and that's it, just two colors, black, white. And the reason why I stuck with that is because like in a race car, like in a full race car, there's a little bit of me kind of just rambling and yapping about like a small background of mine, but like in automotive development or racing development, you want to choose either the lightest materials or the best materials that are strong enough to handle thermodynamics, aerodynamics, speed, grip, structural, like you name it. You want to think of like every single material and every type of thing that could work for these cars, whether it's road and track, track only, road only, or consumerism, things like that, where you kind of like, oh, okay, this wouldn't work if it was a regular car for most people because they wouldn't drive an all carbon fiber car if they're just going to get groceries, unless it's these types of cars, which are in six figure to higher range, right? So then I was like, cool. I don't know what these cars are. I don't know if they're fiberglass. Like back then, the IMSA like Mustang cars. I don't know if they were fiberglass only, or they had carbon composite, Kevlar, or like things like that. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna take this car and if I was building this car in real life, this is how I would do it. And if I was building a time attack car, this is how I would do it. So I did full carbon fiber front end, which if you see it closer now, because at the show, I didn't have anything carbon fiber, it was just all black, but it's full carbon fiber decal, which took forever and it was tragic. And that was kind of my bounce back because I said, you know what? Instead of just crying about it being broken, which I did shed some tears because this was some hard pain that I put into this car, but I wanted this car to stand out as far as like full race. Like what would go into this car if it was a race car? What wouldn't go in this car if it was a race car versus a regular car and things like that, where it's like full sponsorship. This car just out there to like just beat up the track. And then that's what I was like full carbon fiber, um, complete front like aerial package in the front where we're knocking down seconds at every turn, every corner. We're not losing anything, right? So then I saw some things that I was like, okay, this model is very limited as far as like, how are we going to cool the car down? How are we going to cool the engine down? How are we going to keep things like still functional but like make sense to the car? Because the kit doesn't come with that much, like, it doesn't come with anything really. It just comes with like a few things, and it came with like a four cylinder turbo. But I put a 2J, I put um full active aero, I put like a rear mount radiator to like insight cooling that way, because you're doing time attack, so you just need as much front bite as you can. You got full fuel cell, you got battery relocated in the back, you got interior where it's just almost skeleton interior because the cage is the dash. You got, man, like switches, you got gauges everywhere. You got kind of just raw like bird cage in there where all you need is a dog box and a seat, pretty much. Like that's a lightweight time attack car because the kit itself almost has that same feel, but it just didn't have enough. And so I said, I'm gonna build off of this. And if in real life you could, the the center winglet actually is active, so like it actually would lift up. Well, it won't lift up by itself, but it has adjustability to where it could lift up or drop down or completely top brake. Um, I just have to like add a few things to make it functional. But anywho, that's just me nerding. But it still has like everything that goes as far as like this is where the electrical shutoff switch is. It's got two air jack sides where the air actually goes in. If we were to like pit, drop the air in, you got air jacks. You know, like you got air tank in there. You got, look at that. You got everything a race car should need. You got switches. You got gauges. You got brake bias. You got a 5 point harness. You got heat shielding inside the car. You got, I mean, you got it. You got it all. And so that's what this car was, a culmination of like some racing background, some automotive racing car building, and some knowledge of just knowing like what race cars are about. And that's where this whole car came about, because it was just compiling everything that I knew as far as like kind of that pop out. Like if I was a new person building something and I wanted to be at a show, this would be my pop out car.
That's clean, man.
Um,
You
yeah,
know, the first question I have from seeing, all the pieces coming apart as you're showcasing
yeah.
everything. Are a lot of these attached pieces? Did you use magnets as well for that?
So there are magnets in the front end for the front clip.
Mm-hmm.
There are two magnets, kind of like closer to the windshield, that are supposed to attach the front clip to it. That's the only magnets that exist in this car.
Got it. Yeah,
Actually, I
because
take that back. There's magnets on the wheels too.
as well. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
because
magnets
it's
on the
really
wheels.
cool. Like, I know some people use magnets, and I know there's a lot of people that don't, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's always good to have that
Man, that car is
there,
sick.
right? That
Yeah.
option if you're like, yo, I want to do the magnets. And yeah, man, just from flipping through the photos, like every angle that you took, the photos, it looks really sick, man. I
Yeah.
really like this. This is really nice. As far as the paint, the black and the white, what brand of paint did you go with for that?
Um, the first time I had to paint it, I did splash paints. I used all splash paints. I used the splash paints Lamborghini EC Blanco for the white. Um, and then it's like a white base, but then I added a pearl white on the like actual white too. And then the front was just, I think it was black primer. Like I did like a Vallejo black primer. Because I was constantly having to change and add styrene and change things around. So like I just was like, okay, cool, this might work. So then it was all black primer at first. And this was, mind you, pre-damage, because like finished, you can't even tell that these parts are damaged.
Mm.
Um, if you were to look at it in person, you wouldn't even know which parts are damaged. But in my head, I see exactly what parts were damaged,
Yeah.
um, how
Yeah,
stressed I
you saw the
was.
aftermath right there. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know. Like if you told me like,
yeah,
"Hey, this car, this is what it went through and everything."
yeah.
I
Like
would not even know where.
that whole front end was like tacoed.
Oh,
That whole
that's
front end was just tacoed.
yeah, even the colors. So you were talking about the markers and
Yeah,
the micro. So the lines that are orange and the red, it looks like those are those brush
yeah.
markers because they look thicker, the lines.
Those are the Posca graffiti markers, the paint
Oh,
markers.
okay, those Posca, right on.
Yeah. Another background of being an artist. These are like the goat of like markers if you want to do like some tagging or like, yeah.
Tagging. You're on,
I'm
let's
not
not
condoning
encourage
it,
anybody
but
to go
yeah, yeah,
tag right now. Nah,
I'm
I'm
not
playing.
condoning it. But if you're doing like a sketchbook, like
Yeah.
if you have a tag book or like a really good sketchbook, these markers, these are goat markers.
Nice. Hey, the last time, one of the last times you were live on your
Yeah,
Instagram, you here, let me plug your Instagram right
yeah.
there. So,
Let's go.
you had shown you were like drawing, you were sketching,
Yeah,
bro, and I was like, yo, like,
yeah,
I didn't know you
yeah,
did
yeah.
sketches too, and I was like blown away. I was like, man, that looks so dope. I was like, I'm really digging the sketches right
Oh
there, you
yeah, I
know.
sketch heavy. I have like I don't even know how many sketchbooks, but I
Uh-huh.
have. I mean,
Hey, bust out. Let's see.
me- yeah, I
Hey,
have.
you know what? I was gonna tell you too, bro. So, earlier today, I was on eBay. I was watching this book. I had bid it on this like book of like how to draw cars and whatnot, right? And
These
dang,
are
look at
all
that stack.
these are all sketchbooks, and then like
Oh,
some like digital work that I did for some people.
oh,
But I,
what? Bust out one of
yeah,
the
yeah,
books.
yeah,
So, there was this book, and it said how like learn how to draw like concept
yeah,
cars and whatnot, right? And it
yeah.
was from like 1960, and I was like, oh, I got to get
Oh,
this
that's
book.
funny.
So I ended
I
up
had that book as a kid.
I bid it and I ended up winning it. I'm like, oof. So sometime in a couple weeks, that's gonna be like my Christmas right there. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be getting that book and I'm gonna start playing around because
yeah,
you know what got me really inspired. I keep showing this right here, but
yeah.
shout outs to OmniWorks.
That's
He did
sick.
this EF9 right here.
As soon as you posted that on it was on your Instagram or it was just on your
Yeah.
YouTube short,
Uh,
and I was like, yo, I want to draw something like that. It's
dude,
sick,
like, man, yeah, I want to learn, man. I want to learn how to draw and
bro. Let
stuff.
me know. I
Like,
got you. I got you.
I'm really into like I like handwriting. I like doing
I
text
got
writing
you,
and stuff
bro.
like
Trust
that.
me.
But I never
You,
really explored the drawing part of it.
yeah,
As a kid, I was like, oh, I'm not that good at this, right?
yeah,
But now I feel like I could. I think I could do it now.
yeah. So
I think my
this
mind
is
is
the
ready now.
sketchbook that I travel with. This is my go-to right now. This is the one that you saw me sketching in. This is the one that like, it's got your sticker on there, Donut Media, your other sticker.
That OG
Shout out
sticker.
to Bill.
All snacks.
Shout out to my boy Brando.
Ooh,
Shout
Brando
out
Commando.
to Jesse. Like I got the squad on here. Detail Junkies, Lowrider Model Car Parts,
Gavin.
Peterson Museum is on there. Oh, the guys from Hawaii.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
Peter Rock. I mean, I got splash paints, NNL West stickers on there from the pizza party.
Oh, the slice of the West. Yeah, with
I got
Alex.
I got the Hot Rod magazine. They sent me
Oh,
stickers
dope.
too. So yeah, yeah, yeah. This is a sketchbook from Vans. I got this as an award. I don't remember how, but Vans sent me, I got a sketchbook from Vans.
Nice.
But yeah, like so this is just my idea sketchbook. So I got like some like random logo work.
Nice. Graffiti. Now I'm playing.
Dang. Some like stuff for like other model car builds that I'm working on.
Ooh,
So
look
this
at
is the
that.
Eldorado. This is the Whiskey Lounge Eldorado. that I'm kind of like sketching some stuff for. Um, the 64 Impala that I'm working on.
Oh yeah. Man, you're making me feel like I'm looking at the lowrider arte books,
Yeah, right.
those
That's what I
OG
mean. That's
ones.
what I grew up on. I like. This was that Lamborghini that I was
Oh,
sketching.
look at that, guys! Look at that.
So yeah, and I was doing that. I did that in like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes or less. Yeah,
That's cool, man. See that? I want to learn how to sketch, man. I mean, I love just
yeah.
getting a model and being like, all right, I'm gonna customize this one and this and that, a
Yeah.
lot of the times it's like a freestyle, of let's see where we end up, right? But if I can sketch it, it'll save me a lot of time
All
as
right.
well,
So
right?
this is gonna. These are some OG sketchbooks too. These are like sketchbooks from like early 2000, like '07, '06. So I got like a random teddy bear falling on pins. This is
Dang.
'07. Yeah, this is the one that was like my high school slash like college sketchbook. Samurai.
Oh, that's cool, and in color too.
Yeah. Some random pandas. I think I was bored in class, and so like I just started like doing some marker work. And this kid was like, "Bro, why are you drawing pandas?" I was like, "Stay in your lane." '08, I drew a random robot.
Nice, that's cool.
Um, and then I started doing some like random political stuff for t-shirts for college. So I did like, it's okay, I don't bite, but that's saying like the human is
Hmm.
like consciously like talking to this random monster like, "Hey yo, what's good? I don't bite, I'm good." And then this one was like talking about like overpowering like companies to like little stuff, so major over minor or major versus minor, who do you choose and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So
Damn,
those were
you're
graphic tees that
drawing those for the local paper or what? Nah.
I was doing that for college. I was making t-shirts.
Oh, nice.
Oh, and then I made this.
Oh,
like
what?
this was
Hey,
on the
that stick
front.
looks pretty cool.
This was on the front of the t-shirt. This was embroidered on the front of the
Hmm.
t-shirt, and it's Stanley steak. And so people
Hmm.
are like, "Oh, that's cool. Like that's random." But then on the back it says no one likes us because it's the
Oh,
veggies. Like no one likes veggies like that by
yeah,
themselves.
yeah.
So yeah, I just did like, random things.
What wasn't there one where you also did kind of like the mapping, like how you did on your cars?
Yeah.
That you had like the sketch on that. I was like, dang. I was like, what do you?
Oh, are you talking about the display that I had for it?
Nah, I think I don't know if you were doing it on a full or what you were doing it on. It might have been a black book too, but you were like live and you were scared, and then you showed it. You showed something, and then it had like the little like the mappings, like how you did on these cars. And I was like,
Oh
what?
yeah, I have it right here.
All right, I was like, what the heck? I
Yeah,
was
I have
like,
it right
dude,
here.
dude's busting out.
If I don't fall.
Damn, let's see it. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Did you place the model on top of that by any chance?
I did. I had both the Lamborghini and the Mustang on top of this. I had it like pretty much like displayed just
Hmm.
like this.
Are you planning to do more builds, like to extend the series to say like, all
Yeah,
right, we got two, let's do some more
I
for this
have
display?
the Aventador. I have one more car that I'm not gonna name yet, but I have the Aventador for sure, and I have one other car, one more car that's being in the lineup, and then that'll be the complete series for um that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
yeah, that's
secret build.
yeah, that's that one sketchbook. This one is technically supposed to be my character book, I think. Yeah, like this was my like character sketchbook, so I was just working on like random artworks. My
That's
dog.
clean.
And then I was working on, yeah, this is just all like character design because I was getting into 3D modeling at the time. So I was just creating like random figures.
So having this background with like drawing and stuff has
Yeah.
definitely helped you a lot with the storytelling of building like the models, knowing the direction or where
Yeah.
you want to head with the models, and then like you said, you've been doing like the 3D like renderings.
Yeah. Um, it has helped, but for the most part, most of it was kind of like this like weird thing that I've known that I was gonna do or capable of at a very early age. Like a very early age. Because in class, I told my teacher what I wanted to do when I grew up. And I told her, and I was very specific about it. I said, I want to design cars, I want to build cars, and that's it. And she was like, you sure you don't want to be like a nurse or like a doctor or a policeman or um like a person who like works with people? And I was like, no. I was like, I want to design cars and I want to build cars. I want to do some cool things.
Yeah, I wonder.
And
I wonder why she was saying to pursue the other career. Maybe she saw you like helping people or getting along with people.
so like I think like in because I grew up in Dallas and the school I went to, I'm not gonna say it was like a bad school. It just like the like neighborhood I lived in like had the typical like 90s like in every movie it was like the typical like 90s like it seemed like it was like 90s in California, but it was like in Texas. Like every 90s movie you see and it's like a group of kids or kids that are growing up, it was kind of like that, but in Dallas. And it was like, oh, like I was the smartest kid in class and I was always drawing or I was always doing this. And kids were like, why are you always doing that? Why don't you just go do this or become a basketball player? I'm like, all right, cool. You can do that. I'm gonna stick to this. And I did that. I tried to stick to every bit of it. Um, and I didn't want to let myself down, but like it was tough because I didn't have I'm gonna put myself out there. I didn't have too many friends growing up in Dallas because like I couldn't relate to them. Like I just couldn't, like my brain just didn't function as a normal kid to be like, okay. I was always like drawing or cars. I would hang out with my dad. We would go to some of the car meets or gun shows and the car shows, and that was my thing. Like I was just like, ooh, like I like that. So then we would go to like some of the classic car shows, and then I'm like, oh, lowriders, and like that was where I like like I kind of like started to like veer to. And then growing up in parts of West Texas around my mom's side of the family and stuff like that, I started to kind of like get into the culture of like like the Latin culture, um, and kind of just like enjoying that part of it because like lowriders and the art behind like lowrider art magazines and things like that. So I started sketching like that, and I think I have some of those old sketches too. If I have them, I highly doubt that I do because this is one of the OG first books. This thing has been through like
Yeah, you even got tape on the spine right there,
this thing is beat.
holding it
Um,
all together.
but like mind you, like I have like hard designs in here that I just that was just me as a kid.
So give me a tip. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna get this book maybe in a couple of weeks or
Yeah.
whatever, right? But right now, quick tip, even for the viewers. So like,
Yeah.
if I wanna draw a car like that, like
Yeah.
the side profile view,
Yeah.
right? Uh, do you recommend me get maybe some like circle templates or like little things just to kind of sketch out the base before I start building up on it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Cause
maybe
you
do it with like a pencil or something.
so
Let's see.
like say like for instance, this was one of the cars that like I was just like, cool, a Corvette. a Camaro, a Dodge Charger, things like that where, like there's things that can be drawn. I use my dad's like technical tool. It's like this green, like big green sheet, but it had like all these shapes in it. Circles, squares, triangles, a bunch of technical things like for his like digital electronics, because he was a medical developer, and he also like kind of did a lot of things in technical fields growing up, and he traveled a lot too. So like I was like, oh, like that'll help me draw wheels better. So I would use it and like draw my circles and kind of just practice on how to draw like deep dish wheels or insets and stuff like that. So then like that book that you're talking about, I think I know what book you're talking about because it did come out in like the 60s or 70s, and it was like how to draw concept cars or how to draw cars in concept or something like that.
Let me. I'll show you a picture of it in a bit.
Yeah.
It's like a white cover,
Mm-hmm.
on there. But let me see. I gotta.
Because I used to read that book in Dallas as a kid when we would go to the library. But yeah,
Dang, let me see. Oh yeah, I like that. You see, I like stuff like that. I'm like, man.
yeah, this is the OG book. This is the book where like
All right, I found the photo. Here, let me show you real quick. Let
yeah,
me squeeze this photo in real quick. This is
ye-
the one I'm gonna be getting.
yes, yes,
You
yes,
can
yes, yes,
draw
yes, yes,
cars by Bill Jinks, Modern
yeah,
Sports Car Series. This is from 1960 when this book came out. And
yes,
I have another magazine. I'm gonna pull it on a bit while you're showing us. Oh, look at that, dude. I
yeah,
like that. Yeah, so look, right there how you're showing the angle,
yeah,
right? How the car is.
yeah,
That's what got my attention in this one. I was flipping through this little book and I was like, "Oh, cool. They're advertising
yeah.
some sketching, right? Like order this book and we'll
Mm-hmm.
teach you or whatever, like it'll teach you how to draw." And I was like, "Oh man,
It'll teach you fundamentals of how to
yeah."
sketch a three-quarter view. Yeah, like and you're just like,
Yeah, dude. And I was
okay.
like, "Oh man, is this book still around?" And I luckily went on eBay and
Yeah.
I found it, dude. I found it and I was like,
There's another book that I think you need. I like, man, like I know you will love because it's a kid book, but it is the book
let me
that
see. I'm trying to find
I
this.
used to have that got destroyed in the flood in storage.
Oh wait, not this book.
And I
Uh-huh.
think it's called how it says it's like how to, and then it's like draw cars, and then on the cover it has like a sketch of like I can't remember if it's like a Mercedes or like there's like something like the book came out in like the 80s. I know for a fact it was like an 80s 90s book because like I was a kid at the Dallas Public Library always reading this book. I was always looking at this book like, oh, okay, that's how you do it. And then like I would like go to school and then like if we had the book fair and if that book was there, I was gonna buy it with the money I had saved up.
Mm-hmm.
And uh they had a poster of like all these different books and like I saw it but they didn't have the book at the book fair and
Uh,
I was heated and I was like, oh, I had all this money saved and so like I was like, what am I gonna buy with this? So I bought like these pencils and something else or like highlights books. I bought highlights books because
mm-hmm.
I wanted that book. I was gonna put all my money into that one book. And I got some pencils, some actual like really good art pencils, and some like the metal sharpeners and like some erasers and stuff like that that are like all pro stuff, like the sticky gum like erasers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
I found the page. Watch, let me show you. So I bought this book right here. Let me show you the cover of the book.
Oh,
Right
that's
there.
true.
This book, this car model book. This is May, June 1963. So I bought this
Ooh,
book. This is a model car book showing you model cars and some slot
yeah.
cars, right? I'm opening the book, table of contents. First thing I see is this ad. There's one of the original ads right there
For the book, that's
for the book. Two seventy
crazy.
five, right there.
I'd bought like six of those
And I
books.
I saw the book and I'm like, oh cool, books for you. I was like, right on. And I
Yeah.
looked at the name. I'm like, let me look this up. But as I'm flipping through the book, they also give you like a little sample. This is how they hook you. This is how they
They're,
got me all these
they're
years
like, hey,
later.
yo, look at these
Look at
one
that.
point perspective, 2 point perspective, 3 point perspective. Yep. Yep.
So I saw this and I'm like, oh, that's dope. But wait, they only gave me 2 pages. Oh no, wait, one more.
Mm-hmm.
These right here.
They're like, if you want to become, if you want to become a really good artist, think about your
Yeah.
perspectives.
It was like, buy this book, read it, try it, and you're gonna be working for GM pretty
Yeah,
soon. Like just that'll be on your resume and you're in.
that's
And I was like,
funny.
yo, like I gotta get this
Yeah,
book. But I got lucky. I don't know, it was meant to be or something. I was like,
yeah,
hopefully nothing happens in the mail and it shows
yeah.
up. And maybe next time I'm live or doing a video, I could like bust it out. We'll see. But I'll
That's
let you know when I
funny.
get it,
That's
bro.
funny you
But
say that because like I small another small backstory. It's because we got other bills we got to get to, but I almost had a job opportunity working for GM as a creative designer.
dang, what
I,
happened?
I I'm not going to talk about that into too many details because that's a whole
All right.
different relationship
Later.
and stuff like that. But I had that opportunity and like I chose a relationship over this job opportunity.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know why I was thinking about that, but that was
Uh-oh.
that was that's in the past. And like I think had I gotten that opportunity, I don't think I would have been building models. I take that back. I don't think I would have gotten this deep into building models again because I would have been like so wrapped up in like if it were to like if I was still doing that today,
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have been like I don't know where I'd be living right. I'd probably be in California building Teslas or something like that. Like I like thinking about it, it's like that opportunity probably would have led me somewhere where I probably wouldn't have liked it
Mm-hmm.
because I was getting into it because I liked developing of like how cars worked or what appealed to me as far as like the cars that I liked, things like that, right?
Yeah.
And so like taking that and saying like, like a BMW M3, like things like that where like they like things like that, but when you get into those positions, you're never doing anything like that. Like you're just doing product design or like simple things, but it's like
Yeah, dude, that's nice. I like that. I like that.
like this
I
is a very old book. This was like college. This is all college stuff.
yeah.
My
That's
BMW M1 concept or for the i8,
nice.
and that was post 2014, 2013. Fisker Karma, my own designs for my own cars, a new Audi R8, which is funny because they just came out with the concept of the Audi R8 and it looks very similar, which is
Yeah, it
wild.
does. It does.
Wild. And this was in
What the hell? Yeah, I love the R8. Those are dope.
2016 Porsche 918 concept that I
Let's see.
did.
Let's see. Oh, that's nice.
I mean, I've been these are just things that I've Mercedes. Like this is pretty much like how you just do your ideations for like
Mm-hmm.
quick sketch concepts and stuff like that. So you're not putting too much detail into it. Oh, you know what's funny? I did the F type before the F type even came out for Jag.
Ooh.
So it's like things like that where like I come up with a concept,
Mm-hmm.
but then years later they come out with the car and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. What
How
the
is it?
hell?
No one saw any of this sketchbook but me. No one. No one saw any of this sketchbook. The Tesla Roadster, I kid you not. This is all stuff that I did in college.
Dang.
Ford GT, wild.
That's crazy. You know, like
It's
the
wild.
builds that you just got done, the ones you were showing us.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be pretty cool if you even though they're done, like still like sketch those out. Like have them
Yeah.
as a sketch, maybe a little display right there, the model with the sketch. That'd be really really nice, man.
I did the 2017 2018 GTR, but someone recently came out with a render of this exact car.
Oh, that looks really nice, man. Yeah.
And I did this in 14 or
You
16,
should
2014 or
later do
2016.
the R36 or do
Maybe.
like the next level of the GTR series.
And then I had like an exoskeleton car. I had, yeah, I have a lot of stuff in here that like I'm seeing today is now being built, and I'm like, whoa, what are the odds of me actually ever actually making that do? And then I would have, I don't think I would ever have been happy though, because there would have been zero creative influence. Oh, also, I used to like design houses just because I liked furniture. Like, here's some sketches of me designing a chair for whatever house that I wanted it to be in.
Oh, it's clean. Is there an era of like houses that you like?
Oh, California actually has a lot of these houses and is the century modern contemporary modern houses where it's single layout, and it could be like a four bedroom, four bedroom house, but it's like single layout, no upstairs, no downstairs, but it has like intricate like designs where like the breezeway, or like certain like designers has like, oh, at certain times of the day the sun comes through here and it only shines to give you like drop down lighting from the ceiling, or it gives you like Frank Lloyd Wright is my go-to like designer of all time when it comes to like designing houses, and he has like kind of been another mentor of my childhood that like was just the guy. He was the guy that like made it happen for me. So like I was ahead of my time as a kid, growing up, because I was just always reading books. I was always like kind of diving into the things that I want. Oh, what is that? How do I learn that? I want the book. Things like that. And then I also like made some notes on drifting before I even got into it. Like that was wild. Before I got into drifting, I was always making my notes. Yeah, I like made like notes on how to set my car up, how to make it happen. So I was like, oh, I need this percentage of degrees of camber for this ratio, this turn, depending on my like speed. I was nerding out on everything. Everything has a reason.
Yeah.
Everything that I put my hands into has a reason. There's a concept of a real thought behind it for a reason.
Yeah, it's like the models that you just put together, it's like puzzle pieces, like things that you just
Yeah,
little by little, and then at the end you're like, "Oh, this was all meant to go together." You know.
yeah.
Let me
Oh, and
s-
then like my characters like sketches. This is all one line.
Wow. I wish I could draw like that.
Yeah, there was no like tracing, no like
That's clean. Man, you could have been doing comic books.
I thought about it too. I'm just
Is that
dropping.
Iron Man? Iron
Yeah,
Man's face or
Mark 46. Dropping like random sketches. I think I have Woody and Buzz in here. I have One Punch Man.
cool.
The Rocketeer, which was one of my other favorite movies growing up as a kid watching, only because I grew up around a lot of old people.
Oh, that's clean, man. That helmet looks hard.
Yeah.
That looks so
So I
dope.
was like, if they ever came out with a Rocketeer movie, that would be sick.
Mhm.
And then my all-time favorite anime character, Vegeta.
That's clean.
Oh, here's Buzz. Here's my version of Buzz Lightyear.
Oh yeah, it looks damn modern, like
Yeah,
different. Yeah.
yeah. And then here's my Woody.
Oh what?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, with the cigarette and everything, right there.
Oh, and then I have notes when I was teaching a class, like tutoring someone on how to like sketch in their like positions of like certain things to like manage as far as like things like that. So I think that's almost figure drawing and stuff like that. Oh yeah, more Vegeta stuff. I'm sorry.
Man, you're making me want to go get a sketchbook now.
And then Star Wars, like the little characters that I did.
Oh, it's clean.
I almost finished the Avengers one, but like I don't know how long ago these were made. 2016, Spider Man. Yeah, that one's
Yeah,
complete.
that's a lot of stuff. Let's jump
Yeah,
into
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
Let's jump
next
in.
build, and
Yeah,
then we'll follow up with some
I have a
questions
lot
because
of sketchbooks.
I have some questions that are saved right here.
Yeah,
All right, so this one here, I'm gonna pull up the car, and we're gonna get this one right here this time. So
let's
this
go.
is the Vertex
The
Drift Heritage
S13.
build right here.
Yes.
Man, check this out, guys. This is another build by Bullitt 87. Check this one out.
So this one is a a lot of things that like I always talk about when I'm talking to either friends or like people that like ask me what inspirations I do have. And um Japanese culture is like on a different level. That's some good root beer. And so like this car also traveled with me, and shout out to a good friend of mine, Mario, Terror Chaos. We've been like working behind the scenes, working on like a bunch of cool things, and um, he was working on like Origin Lab, like body kits and stuff like that. And I was like, dang, but I don't have a Origin Lab livery. So I was like, screw it, because it's a Vertex kit. I'm still gonna put the vinyls on because that's the closest thing that I can find right now that like works for what the car is, right? And so like that car still brings me back to like early 2000s D1 GP like style, kind of like building, like how they like would take stock like 240s, chasers, and like do a couple of like mods to them, cage, and just go on a circuit, episode circuit, and just rip. They would be on the jumps. They would just be going ham, but they would have like this like kind of like style to them where it was like they call it monster trucking, where like the suspension is like 3 inches like higher than it should be in the front, just to like get the right angle, just to get like everything right. But then I took that culture and like brought it to the street culture where you got so many different drift cultures now, that like you got Knuckle Up in Texas, you got the I'm drawing a blank on this one. I shouldn't even be drawing a blank on this. Animal Style. You got uh, Animal Style crew that was going crazy. Julian and his squad was going ham. So like they started doing crazy liveries on their cars and just kind of going like mad when it came to like building S13s or S14s, hatches, RX-7s. My boy Hurt from or post P um Hoonigan, Hurt Eugene. His RX-7 was gas. He was I was always watching the Street Sweeper kind of like forums, and Street Hunter and Stance Works was always posting like these like hot boy style like cars was like 19s VSKFs or Webs Crans and Cerberus and all these different like wheels, and I was like, yo, I want to set my car up like that. I just didn't know like what specs. I gotta look down and like see what their specs are. So it's like how can I put that into a cost effective like environment? And that's building models. The kit itself pretty much looks just like this. This is the kit that this car is. It's this kit, but I haven't seen anybody um build that kit. So I talked to Mario, Terra Chaos, and was like, "Yo, like I need an up to date like body kit." And so he was like, "Oh, I got you, I got you, I got you." He was like, "I'm working on my coupe right now," and I was like, "Say less." I just happened to be in California already, and I met up with him. We collaborated. We were talking like I don't know, like the entire day, if not like the whole week. And I said, "All right, bet." I was like, "This is what I need. This is what I'm shooting for. This is the style." But I didn't know what like colors I was gonna use that. And he went with like street style, and I was like, I want to kind of go with like a grassroots, but like low tech street car, but Ebisu circuit licensed car. And so that was the idea that was in my head. So I'm back on Pinterest, just thumbing through Pinterest. Was like, oh, okay, D1 GP, G1 GP. Um, who's doing what? How does this look in the catalog? What was this? How did they have this? What harness did they use? Did they have a fuel cell in the back? Did like I'm looking at every single detail. Did they use NOS? Did they have like this missing, or did they have this engine set up? How did they do this? What were they doing? Like it was just like I was racking my brain and like kind of just vegetating on like this build, and that's how I do any build really. And so like I like go into this like mental well-being of like how Japan kind of goes about like their way of living, where it's like simple, clean, and effective. And I try and put all of that into my builds, but I also put my own characteristics into those builds because like sometimes simple and clean is not gonna do it. And I like pretty much was like putting like every bit of like what I would again do to this car if I had it shipped out to Japan, and doing some Ebisu circuit stuff in the off season, which a lot of my friends go to Japan around this time to do, or around December, November, to drive and have fun. And that's pretty much like what this would be. Like I'm always going to build something that I would drive, for the most part. Not everything that I've built so far hasn't been a vehicle that I wouldn't drive, but for the most part, it's something that I would own, or I would like to own if I had the funds to. Yeah. So that's where the inspiration of this car came from. One JZ, two JZ, is a higher revving engine, high compression, torque is there when you need it, the speed's there when you need it, standalone ECU if you needed, like things like that where you can tune it. It's tunability, from every track type, from school course to small course to full course to north course, south course, things like that in Japan. Like you just learn, when you're there, to kind of just say like, all right, bet this is what I see now. Like I get it. I get why this build is made, and not just some kit that someone else is building and you see it on the table and it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then you move on to the next one. I want you to feel the story when you look at it. Like that's where most of my builds are, is like I want you to like feel the energy that's behind it when you just look at it. And so like that's where this one came from. Energy of Japan.
That's dope, man. Yeah, I'm really digging the like the livery, and when I'm looking at this photo here, the interior, Are you scratch building some of the interior, like the side
Yeah, the
panels?
cage. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I'll show you right now. So the door panels is all
All right.
scratch built.
Let's see.
So I like kind of like did some like missing glass slash like rails for the sliders for the actual like glass, because most of these cars in Japan, they'll just slap like some acrylic sheet in there, because they if you slam into a door, you don't want glass in your lap or your face. So
Mm-hmm.
like they'll pull all the glass out and then they'll just cut some acrylic sheeting in there. And yeah, if it pops in, it pops out. It like That's just how they did it. And then the dash, you wouldn't be able to see it there, but I have it right here, which I have the detail of this dash. If it'll focus on it.
There
I
we go.
made
Oh
a
man, yeah, you got everything in there.
Yeah, so I did a Vertex steering wheel, the gauge with the broke boost gauge. I got switches. I don't know why it's not focusing on it. Just don't focus on my face. Don't.
Maybe pull it back just a little bit. Let's see if we'll get it. Kind of getting it right there,
Almost,
but
almost.
yeah, almost.
But yeah, you can see like it has like hydro. It's got switches for battery disconnect. Yeah, like yeah, it's full dash, and that's just based off like being in the. I was in the culture in like 2009, 2010, 2011, and then I got out because college, and then I just was like going based off of like everything that I know that this car can be, or what I would see in Japan, because this is just how they did it. This is just how they did it. It was just effective. They would put a battery in the passenger seat area. They wouldn't put it in the front because it would be either a full cage in the front, so there's nowhere to put a battery. So they would put it inside the car, run all the stuff that they need to, water tank or extra like just a bunch of stuff. So yeah, like if I mean I could pull this up right now, but yeah. So like bottom detail.
That's nice, man. Yeah, there's a lot of detail going in there.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, how long has it been on this build from when you started till right now?
That's funny you say that. I was just when we were talking about the photos, I went back as far as March 2024. No, 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 no. Yeah, March 2024 was, I think that was when I started working on this, but I was taking this with me to travel, and the wheels that I originally was going to have were actually, funny fact, are the wheels that are on the Mustang now. Those were the original wheels that were going to be on this car, because I have old like photos of like this car
With the other wheels.
with the other wheels, and I was like, oh, I can't have these. These just don't make any sense. They like, it looks cool, but it just didn't make any sense. So I was like, you know what? Whenever I get home, I'm gonna print me some wheels up that make sense, because I know what spec I want. I know what like tires I need. I know what it should look like. And so as soon as I got home, I like was on the laptop working and like restructuring, designing, and I was like, okay, I need some SSR Mark twos, or I need some Rays, some work wheels or some Workmeisters and stuff like that, or I need like Volk racing wheels. So like I got like an offset of like these. So like these are the fronts. I got some bronze like Volk wheels. That stuff. These are the rears, deep dish rear with some Advan tires, some like legit tires. And then the other set of wheels I got is a front. These are the SSRs. I think these are the Workmeisters actually. And the they're three piece. So yeah, I got two sets because like you need your spares. So it's like when the car is kind of like finished, I'll do like a display where um what they do is they'll like ratchet strap the wheels around the trunk and like run it through in the tire wheels and tires through, and then when you're going to a drift event, you'll run your like your tires or your wheels and tires like on the top of the trunk, and it's like ratchet strapped inside, and you close the trunk because that was the only room that you had because you didn't have any room in your trunk because you had a fuel cell. You didn't have any room in the back of your in the back seat because that's where your tools, your jack, your like whatever you needed is back there because you got spare diffs, you got spare coils, tie rods, things like that for like a drift event.
Hmm.
And that's how you thugged it out when you were going to a drift event. You just had spare wheels and tires. If they didn't fit in the inside of the trunk or inside the car, ratchet strap them to the back of the trunk. If you didn't have a hatch, if you didn't have a hatch, if you had the coupe, that's what you did. If you had the hatch, you could just kind of like dump them in the back of the hatch with all the tools and the junk, and then ratchet strap the hatch down. That's just how it worked. I just had you had to thug it out like that. That's just the culture of drifting.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we see it now more with with all social medias. You see more and more videos. I always like the videos where they put the camera inside, like
Hmm.
let's say like the passenger side or
Yeah,
like
POV for
the
the
POV. Yeah, you get to see everything in action right there,
yeah.
and it's just like wow. But it's cool to if you can't get close to any of this stuff, you could at least
Hmm.
study it and build a model.
Hmm. Hmm. That is my philosophy now. It's like, man, some of these cars like, and mind you, I really want this car, even though like I'm about to like start planning my actual car that I just put in storage.
Hmm. Yeah, I saw that video when you
Yeah.
put it in storage.
Um, I want a Toyota Mark II Chaser for a lot of reasons. One, one of the coolest cars that it doesn't make sense because it's four doors, but like it has like a Toyota Supra engine in it, right?
Mm.
And but it's like one of the chillest cars that you could own. It's like one of those hidden gems where it's like, oh, you got a Toyota. It looks like a Toyota Camry, but rear wheel drive. And like for some reason, something's different about it because it's two tone and it doesn't sound like my mom's Toyota Camry, right? And it's like I actually have a model of the version that I want, um, and that's gonna get built in the future. And then I have a Cresta model, which I'm gonna try and build like my Cressida that I want to like how I want it to be built, like how I want to actually get that car built. So I do have that Cresta model. Shout out to who got me that kit. We were at a N&O and I was like talking to him about it, and he and his girlfriend uh was it half a half a hot rod or something like that? I can't remember like specifically, but like shout out to him and his girlfriend for coming back and like giving me that kit because like there was a lot of stuff going on for NNL West, and like I was stressing because that was that time when we drove trekked from like Texas all the way to California out there to you guys,
Dang,
um to make it to that show. And
that's a
like
mission.
yeah, and I just was there to enjoy the show. But then when I saw that kit, I was like, I need to figure out how to get this kit without breaking the bank or like kind of like dipping into my budget on the way back home. Uh, and he was like, nah, bro. He was like, I trust you. He was like, you have this car in real life. I want to see you like build it the way you would want this car to be built. And I was like, bro, stop. I'm gonna get into tears, you know? Um, I want to say his IG handle is half a hot rod, but I can't remember if he changed it or not. But
But he's
I
from
gotta,
Northern California.
yeah, I
He's
think
from out there.
yeah. And shout out to he and his girlfriend because like you guys are the real ones. Like you guys are the real ones because like I look at this kid still to this day and I'm like, yo, I can't wait to build this car because it was something that like close to owning it. Similar cars. And yeah, yeah, shout out. That's a real one. That's a real one.
That's dope.
It's hard to impress me, but that's a real one right there.
Yeah, so we got a little bit of time. We're almost gonna be done with the episode, but
I
we have
know.
time to
I
squeeze
know.
another build, guys.
Yeah, let's
This one
go.
here, I'm excited about this
This
one.
one I'm excited about
All
too.
right,
This one
so
is
I'm gonna let
I'll
you
actually
introduce. Let's
I'll
see, bring it
actually
out. Wait, hold on. Let me switch the cam to me first, and we're gonna wait till he's ready. That way, you guys can see the next build. I already have the photos that I'll be pulling up, but Bullitt 87 has the real deal right in front of him.
let's go.
The physical. All right, so let me start off with the photos here. I'll let you introduce the truck, and I'll pull up the photo. So let me pull up the first one right here, guys. Here we go. Let me see.
Yes. Yes. I love this truck. I love this truck.
It's amazing. Tell us about this build.
All right, so before I actually like show you guys cuz it's I don't want to handle too much of it. But it's a sick truck. The idea of this was also in the build off too. Um, I think I can't remember what the premise of the build off. I think it was just a truck build off, and I didn't have a full idea of what I was doing. I just know, oh, okay, I'll build the black box truck, and I kind of was just like, oh, okay, let me see what's going on. But then I said, you know what? Everyone's building this, or I haven't seen anybody build it at a show yet. So let me put my spin on it because like either I'm gonna do some racing or I'm gonna do something that like makes sense for why this truck exists. And so I said, screw it. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna put racing into it. I'm gonna put a whole backstory. And I posted the backstory of why the truck became what it was. And the premise was just an old race car legend had like a shop truck and he was retired and he kind of just wanted to start a whole new league. And he found out in Europe they had a truck racing series. And so he said, well, why don't we just figure out, write up some stuff for the series that meets their same kind of agenda. But he didn't know what type of truck league it was. It was mainly I think the Euro truck, like it's like a diesel truck championship or something like it's like e-truck or something like that. And um so he was like, oh well, I got a classic cab over engine and like would that classify? And they're like, well, was it a duty truck? And then he was like, well, yeah, it was the shop truck. It was a hauler. It was like the flatbed hauler or something like that. And they were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we run all duty cycle trucks." And so he was like, "Cool. How long do you guys need to like work on the development?" And that's the whole backstory of like why this truck exists. And so he was like, "Oh, just like the season starts around this time." And then he and his son, like he wanted his son to like get into racing, but his son wasn't about like old racing or trucks like that. And he was like, "Well, why don't you modernize the take on the system?" And so his dad was like, "No, we just got to keep it simple. This is how they want it. This is the old style." And his son was like, "No, Dad, this is how they do it in the modern leagues of racing. This is what you need. This is how you need to like worry about aerodynamics. The truck is a brick. There's no way you're gonna pass this off as a race truck." And so he was like, "Fine, I'll listen to you. See what's going on. I'll see whatever it is, right?" So he like followed his son's direction and he kind of just was like, "Hey, I'm just letting you do your thing and kind of just lead by example. So his son was like, you need cooling, you need all the stuff that needs to go into it. You need all the modern upkeep for electronics and drive control stability. And you got two engines you have to worry about. No more diesel. You're gonna be the only one that's out there doing this. And that's kind of like how this truck became like a direction of like modern meets classic, or classic racing style meets a modern edge of racing, in a Euro League. And so that's how we came up with this structure of a truck that you guys get to see right here. And it's got like brake lines ran, air lines ran, two supercharged 572s, cooling ducts, water reclamation tanks, fuel tank in the front. Yeah, it's got everything. It's got everything. And then I can pull off the front end so you can see that there's a radiator, fuel tank. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, the front comes off. There's a fuel tank inside at the bottom. I did a fuel filler neck. I did clutch solenoids. I did everything. There's a dog box shifter inside. Yeah, there's a lot. And then let me see if this will come off because I know it will come off. I made sure it will come off. The cap comes off. So you guys can see this. So yeah, fuel, water reclamation, clutch, and then dog box shifter. Dirty used and abused sponsorships, two engines. And then like the paint scheme, you won't be able to see it unless you're actually at a show or like in like really good lighting. But it's opal black in the front, faded to a from a GTR silver. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a GTR silver faded to opal black, which is like a midnight purple 3, and then some LED driving lights, which is originally supposed to have lights, but I took those out because I was on crunch time, so I didn't want to overdo it. So there's that whole story of that. And then there's like the fuel tanks in the back, fuel drop. Just like that. So yeah.
Damn, that is dope. Awesome, bro. Hell yeah. I'm like, I kept quiet. I was like, let you do your thing. But
Yeah.
man, that is so clean. I love it. I really love the truck, the way it looks. Like just the concept. I like there's the two engines in there.
Hmm.
I was like, man, and then just being able to take off the cab, everything. I like how
Yeah.
you're able to separate to show because you can always present this at a show one day, laid out, and then in the
Yeah.
future, if you decide to bring it back, you can always take it apart, or maybe at a second show, take it apart, lay it out, and people will be like, "Yo, I saw that one at the
Hmm.
last one, but look,
Hmm.
now we can see more in there." That's pretty cool.
And then for that show in Dallas, that where I did the topographical map display for it, I made this one also for it.
Zoom in.
So I did a pit zone for it for the truck.
Oh, it's cool.
So like, and you can't. I don't know if you can see it, but I did like some like stains, which I didn't do on a whim. It started raining, and I had to bring these in from the car. and the staining like on this like board worked way
Yeah, it
too
looks
good.
good. I can see it.
Way too good. Someone was like, "Yo, that's sick," and I was like, "You know what? I'm just let it run for it."
Hey,
Um,
dog, how'd you do that
yeah,
effect on the board?
how'd you do that on the board? And I was like, and I was like, I didn't notice it at first, and then until I looked
Hmm.
over and I was like, hey, yo, I didn't even know this got wet, but yeah. And
Yeah,
then I have spare,
I thought you did it when I saw it when
yeah,
you were showing. I was like, oh man, what'd you
yeah,
do
and then
for
I
that?
have the spare, I have spare wheels for it. Yeah, these are legit spare wheels that go in the back of it. So like I'll like display it with the spare wheels in the back like
Hmm.
this.
Oh yeah, dude, that's cool. I like that. That is pretty cool.
But yeah, this is another one that I know for a fact that I would love to build again.
Hmm.
Um, Not in a six wheel, but in the like in the shorter version because I have something in mind for that one. For the back end, I have some sick things in mind, and I would do it exactly the same, not the same paint scheme, but I would build it as another race truck for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm really liking the all the vibes of all
Yeah.
the way everything's coming together. Uh, build after build. There's something very different, unique about the build, and it's just that direction. You're heading in another direction where you're just going big, leveling up, adding
Hmm.
more detail. I like the storylines. There's definitely a story behind it. I'm really digging that, and I think later in the future, man, I could see you even doing some sketches after these builds are
Yeah.
done, because
Yes.
it would just be so nice to have a sketch framed of the build and then also have like the model in a case encapsulated right there with it,
Yeah.
complementing it. I don't know, man. It's just there's a lot of cool stuff. Let me pull up the questions. I got a few questions here, and the first one, since we're in the topic of this call right here, the other two were from earlier, but
Hmm.
let me start off with this one. We have Adrock Carnut 6885. He's asking here. Here, let me pull it up too. Is
Yeah.
that a resin or 3D printed Chevy body?
Ooh. So the only thing, the body, well, everything was 3D printed for the most part. For the most part. It was originally the black box um twin engine truck, the cab over engine. Um I just wanted to see what that file was about, and so I printed it and it came out really good. Minus my support setup. I like was like not good about the supports. But I like didn't have a real direction at the time. So as I was printing things, I was like, oh, cool. I'll just print two just in case if this breaks. I print two of almost everything except for the cab. The cab came out too perfect. Uh, but then I started looking at what Black Box had overall, and I was like, oh, this might work. This might work. This might work. So yeah, it is everything about this is 3D printed for the exception of a few things. The doors are actually made of styrene. I actually built these doors out of styrene because when I had to cut the doors off of this, I didn't want to run the risk of breaking anything. So like I built all the doors, door jambs out of styrene.
Man, that's some fine work right there. I
Yeah,
was like, these are from the from the cab, right
yeah,
there, man. That's super clean.
yeah. So those doors,
That's
yeah, those doors are styrene.
all right. That's cool. And I have another question.
Hmm.
This is now we're gonna go back. This is a question from earlier on from Jose Salgado 2558, and this is gonna be regarding the Lambo and the Mustang. And he asks, did you use a specific area or location for the map when you were sketching that out on the bodies of the
I
cars?
use actually I'd take that. I was gonna say no, but I did. There is an area in California Route 66 area. Well, not directly in California, but like if you're going on Route 66, you're going through the canyons, Grand Canyon, and um, the desert of Nevada and some other areas. So like I had to like minimize the maps because there's like a lot of plateaus and a lot of like elevation changes. As far as like the Lamborghini, I used the Grand Canyon. Um, I used Arizona and some other parts of like Nevada, like roads for the Mustang. And then for another build that I'm not gonna name, that's gonna have the topographical map. That one is gonna be based off of I think a well-known like trek um, that is in California. Because like in Texas, we don't have like mountains and stuff like that. We have elevation changes, but like we don't have like crazy like elevation changes like that unless you're going to like West Texas and that's about it, or El Paso. That's the only time you'll have like crazy elevation changes. So um I always find myself in California for some reason. And I always look at like landscape because California is so gorgeous as a state. It's beautiful. Like from Northern California all the way to Southern California, like I would live there if there was certain things that changed. That's all I'm gonna say. I would easily live in California if there was just little things that would change. That's it. That's all I would say. Like uh and like the ability to like actually have cool cars there would be dope. Like I would love to live in California, but there's just a few things that I would just be like, just change those things. Um,
Right
because
on.
I was in California so many different times that like sometimes I was there for like months on end. And I just was like in Northern California, I was in middle of California, I was in Southern California a lot. And I think a lot of that like kind of like stuck with me because I love driving. Like I just am a type of person that just loves to go driving.
Mhm.
And anytime I had an off day while I was in California, I was like, I'm gonna see what's up in this area because I would see like it had good reviews as far as like nature trails or where I can go jogging or something like that. And so like I would just take that and be like, oh, let me look at the jogging map, or I would look at something and I'm like, oh, let me look at the history, and then I would see an elevation chart and I'm like, oh, that's sick. And so I just kind of use that to kind of some of my, I guess, ideation to the topographical map. So yeah, to answer that, yes, I have specific areas that are near and dear to me on these cards. That's why I said those are the Easter eggs
Mhm.
um, in each build. So like that third, not the Lamborghini, the Aventador, but the third build um, will have another Easter egg, even though it's probably gonna have the same style, but it'll have some Easter eggs in there too of other known locations.
Yeah, maybe you're gonna. You ever think about adding the Toledo, Ohio? The
No,
reminder of
absolute
the
nah.
airport. Airport. Oh, they smashed the model right here. No, I got one last one here. One last question. This is
Yeah.
coming from Kevin Smith, 7697,
Okay.
and he had asked this like midpoint during the interview. He wanted to know what is Chester's current job.
Ooh,
I don't know if you could disclose that, but maybe not the company name, but maybe
I
the
can
field.
disclose it. I
Oh,
am
okay, okay. I don't
a
know.
like a robotics tech, but I now am a robotics tech trainer. So like I train a lot of robotics techs now, like where they repair or do all the internal technical stuff, computer stuff. I'm training everybody. So like that's why I started traveling a lot more now. Uh, so my schedule is always busy. I'm a robotics tech trainer.
Man,
So
that's dope. So yeah, you got a lot more responsibility now,
yeah,
pretty
I
much.
have put myself in a position where what is it? I've become too good at my job to not become a liability, but becoming an asset. and
Mm-hmm.
that too good of my job to where if I were to leave, then it's like, oh, okay, okay, that sucks.
Dang. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I mean, you worked hard. It's really it's really hard when
He's
you're
working
when
for
you're a
AI.
kid, like growing up, right? And people are like, "What do you want to
Yeah,
be when you grow up, or when you go to school?" Come on, you're gonna go to college. Pick what you want to study. Sometimes we're
yeah,
still trying to figure it out, but from what it sounds like, you were doing a lot of reading, you were drawing.
yeah.
I think a
I
lot
was
of
stuck into it.
your teachers played a big role.
Yeah.
And now with skill modeling, you're still doing that. You're channeling
Hmm.
a lot of things. You're keeping your mind busy with ideas, sketching, doing a bunch of stuff. And all this, when you're working and you're doing the electronics, and now you're managing,
Yeah.
teaching people how to answer problems, how to
Hmm.
fix
Hmm.
problems, because that's what a lot of it is.
It's problem
It's like,
solving.
yeah,
Yeah.
problem solving. How can we do this to this? And it's the same with building a car. You want to start
Hmm.
customizing it.
Hmm.
There's a lot of problem solving that's going to be right in front of
Hmm.
you. So you're gonna figure it out. And I think that background and everything leading to this point right now
Yeah.
and going to the future is taking you in the right direction,
And
man.
that's a funny segue. Now thinking about it, growing up as a like as an individual, out of four sisters, it's like I was always problem solving without asking questions. I would always just see any situation and kind of like put it in my own like scenarios, and I would break it down in my head, and I would be like, okay, how would I do this though? Like I don't want someone to show me how they do it because that's probably like the worst way to do it. And so I was like, no, let me break this down. And so I'd like take pieces of it, bring it down, take pieces of it, break it down. And I'm like, and then I would tell them, why don't you just do it this way, and this way? And they're like, wait, I didn't even think about that. And so like it would just, and so like, and mind you, that was me as a kid. Like in class, I'd be like, I would always raise my hand, and I'm like, but why don't we just do it this way? Like my brain was constantly just rapid fire, rapid fire, rapid fire. And like, that's what elevated me into like wanting to learn more as far as like automotive world or architectural design or how to be better at drawing, which I didn't have any problems with growing up. But it was mainly like what was something that I didn't know, um that I might need to know. So like every time I would look for it or like try and get the answers, I'm like, oh, I already know that. Why would I, what, like that doesn't make any sense. I already know that. And in school, um it was like that too. Like, yeah, I mean, it's cool to like, you know, have girlfriends and stuff like that, or like have a girlfriend. But I was still focused at like sketching or like I want to build a robot, or I want to get into robotics, or I wanted to get into like a bunch of different things in high school, and college and stuff like that, where I was like I still want to be human, but I like and do normal things, but it was like that doesn't help me progress. That didn't give me like that like extra edge where I was like, oh, okay, I want to be the first one to like advance in this because of the fact that no one's doing it right now. And that was like how I felt at building models. I didn't want to be the first. I just wanted to see how other people did it, and was like, well, why didn't they just do it this way? So then I was always like, okay, if I keep looking at someone else's builds, then I'm not going to succeed because I'm constantly like dialing my stuff back. Like, oh, let me go back and change this. Let me go back and change this. So I was constantly putting my stuff back. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I'll get back to it later. And it's like, no, like just get into it, keep your head down, and like put in that work. And then that's when the Lamborghini came up. That's when the S13 came up. There's another truck. Actually, it's right next to me. There's this truck that has been sitting on my desk for the longest. And it's an old hot rod Chevy street truck that I'm turning into a trophy truck style build. And I put that on the back burner because I haven't seen anybody build anything that cool. Or like, because like how, like everyone's getting into rock crawling, the mini rock crawling, like RCs, which I want one, but I think that when I built this frame, because this is all styrene frame, like all of this is just all styrene frame, right? And I was like, started to dive in like modern technology of like building this stuff. And I was like, man, like that's gonna burn me out because I need this engine, I need to print this engine, or I need to like have this specific setup, wheels, tires, and things like that. And so I was like, man, like I'm setting a lot of stuff on this table, but I'm not building anything. That's where I had to like kind of sit there and really like reevaluate like all of what I was doing wrong and kind of just say, should get back to the basics. Dennis was a good advocate of like, he's like, nah, man, just go back to what you used to do with the Lambo truck or with the other cars that you used to build and stuff like that. I was like, you're right. Because I didn't think about those cars. I just built them. Like those are cars that I just built just to see what people would react to and to see if they liked it. And I did three renditions of that truck, sold two of them, or got rid. One was given to a good friend of mine, Jesse, J Walker Designs, and then the other one was sold at the Acme show a long time ago, when they were at the other place. And then the third one, I don't even know where that third one is. Someone has it, but that third one is out there.
Dang, you're
And
like, I need
then
to get it back.
yeah,
Where
so that third one is out there. I'm pretty sure it's like someone's having fun with it, but that third one's out there. And then there's one that I have to finish building
Mm.
for ox scale models in Australia, or New
Oh,
Zealand. I can't
nice.
remember if he's in Australia or New Zealand, but I need to bring that one back out because I was originally supposed to like build that one for him, and
Mm.
I paused because I was moving a lot and I was working a lot and I was traveling. So like, shout out to that guy
Yeah,
because
you did some cool stuff. I,
yeah,
let's see. I got one more question right here.
yeah,
We're gonna add one more.
yeah,
This
yeah,
one's from Leon, Model Car 1589, and here let me post it up and I'm gonna read it.
yeah.
I have one question. If you can bring anything new to the model community, what would it be?
Mm,
Uh oh, what would it be?
new. If we're talking building wise, let's encourage 3D printing. I will say like this is one part of it. Scratch building, I love it. I love scratch building. I do. I'm not gonna take that away from anybody. But 3D printing has created a level of detail and a level of realism that you just really can't get out of scratch building anymore. And that's what gives those like nuances of what stands out on the table and what stands out. So like, to argue, is 3D printing good for the community? Yes. Is it good for the community if you're trying to make money? Who cares? Like it like that part shouldn't matter. Think of it as in, if it helps you build better or if it helps you understand the concept of standing out, even if the two people are building the same car and they're printing the same things, it's all based on your creative mindset of what I'm doing versus what they're doing. Don't think about what they're doing. Just build your what you love doing. Like that's why you see my cars. You see the style of my cars. It's like I build stuff that I would own. And I don't build stuff that would sit on a box art or sit on a table that looks like someone else's but in a different color. Um and I just want to challenge anyone to like just get out of that like box mentality and kind of just look at ways to improve on things that already exist, if that makes sense. Like improve on your own mentality and improve on the box that it comes with. Because yeah, you can put big wheels on something, cool, that's a style that doesn't make sense to me. But if you can build that and it looks like I can go outside and like get into it and drive it, then that's when I'm like, oh, let me look at that. Because I see you got the brakes, I see you got the like interior, I see you got the engine, but I want to see like the detail of the engine. I want to see the detail of like brake lines, or you got a 454 in there with like two turbos, but I want to see the oil cooling lines from the oil for the turbos, or I want to see something that I could see on Donk Masters or something like, like things like that. Where if you're gonna build a lowrider, I want to see that, like that level of like ingenuity where it's like, yeah, it's printed parts, which makes sense because it's to scale, but I want to see that level of like, oh man, like I can see that in real life. Like that's where I say like just bring a new mind to the community. That's it. Just bring a new mind. Like just bring a new mind. You can see the box. You can be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna build this just the way the box looks. Get past that. Um, get past that because anybody can look at the instructions. And I'm not taking this away from someone who loves to build off of the instructions and put wheels on something, but do it in a sense to where if it's being overlooked on the table, that just means it looks like something else that is like you're building for that box instead of, oh man, like what kit is that? I want someone to be like, oh, what kit is that? Even though they see what car it is, but what kit is that? Because now it looks like something that doesn't come out of that box. Like, who's the guy who built that NASCAR? I can't remember his name, but like that like I needed all videos of that car because
Oh,
like I know,
the was it Clay Kemp, the one
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
cut in half?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's something that I feel like a lot of people should shoot for. And I get it. Not everyone's in that caliber of level of creativity, but I would rather you take a year to build one model car because you were putting that level of detail into it than building six donks and you're like, oh, I just got these new wheels and I printed them and I put them on there, or I just got this new lowrider and I just put wheels and pumps and interior in it. That doesn't give me a satisfaction. That's just tossing the same thing just in a different pattern. Like I have a bunch of race car kits that I'm about to dive into next year that you guys like have no idea what's going to be coming out on those tables, but like just be aware that Clay Camp literally sparked a fire in me and I'm going to build
That's
one of
dope.
these race car kits that
Hmm.
I like that something like that brought me back to like my third grade version of me. Like that's I like to see stuff like that where like
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
man, yo, like I got hyped. Like
No,
things like
yeah,
that,
that
like
that model made a lot of noise. I mean, he did get recognized. He got the
yeah,
award for it, but it was a trip. Like Dennis Matthews pointed that one out. He was like, "Yo, come check
yeah,
this one out over here,"
yeah,
and he pointed out some things, and it caught my attention, and
yeah,
and I got to meet Clay there, and I got to
yeah,
talk to him. I got I got to hang out with him while his model was there, and seeing him. People were asking him questions, and I started to film. The model took photos, but I, like you said, I wish I could get more content
yeah.
of it because there's a lot to take from it. But he's really good about photographing his stuff and putting
Hmm.
it on his Instagram and even his YouTube channel. Man, he
Hmm.
has such a dope YouTube channel where he breaks everything down to
Yeah.
the materials that he uses. There's no gatekeeping with him, which
Which
I
that's
thought.
what I love.
I was like, dude, this is
Yeah.
awesome. Like, this guy's telling you everything right here. And there's a lot of long form videos, so you could just play those and like kick
Yeah.
back and watch. So there's a lot of cool stuff. But I know what you mean. Like, you see something like that, you get very excited.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the things with even with myself, every time I'm gonna do a build, I try to challenge myself as to like, let me focus on this department, on this build, on this next build. I'll focus on this other thing I've never done before. Then eventually, in the future, maybe after like the fourth or fifth bill, I kind of
Yeah.
try to tie everything together if I can, and be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna start bringing in all the elements of things that I've learned collectively into now this newer
Hmm.
type of build. So I know what
Hmm.
you mean. Like, it's
Hmm.
like don't be scared to just
Yeah.
step away and
Yeah.
or add and tackle something that maybe hasn't been tackled yet.
And that's why a certain to full circle that back to the PS13 build, the IMSA GT Mustang, the this truck, and another future build that I'm about to start. I'm either probably about to start it here soon, because most of the builds that I'm working on are complete for the most part. I'm gonna put a culmination of things into this one model. Um, Mind you, it's large scale. I think I think I was talking to you about it, but we'll not talk about it.
Oh,
That this,
period. Nah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This vehicle, I want to make sure that when people do see it at the show, that they can kind of like go back and to be like, oh man, I love this. I didn't know when he was gonna like do this again, but this is something that is a callback to a build that literally brought me out of like my shell and was like, dang, like 2019, 2018, 2019 was kind of like this like weird era of me like trying to figure out what my style was because I was just building cars and was just like, oh, okay, I'll build a car, I'll do it this way. But like I had this one vehicle that was like a no-brainer and I built it once. And yeah, if I go back and look at it, I'm like, oh, that's trash. I could have did this better. But then I did it several different times better, but I did it in each of the next ones as the focus. So now that I've got this all taken care of, this build is going to be that focused. Like you're gonna see it. Like it is gonna be a very focused piece of art that like will show like all of this like very focused energy. And I hope I accomplish exactly what I want to do. And I'm gonna do justice. I mean, that's as simple as it gets. I'm just gonna yeah.
Dang.
I'm gonna do this some justice. I
Yeah,
want
dude.
everyone I mean actually I posted a teaser on my Instagram. I don't like I posted a teaser of it on my
Bam.
Instagram.
There's the link so you can
Yeah,
see it.
yeah. I posted a teaser of it on my Instagram.
That's dope,
Um
man.
so I hope people caught on to the hint. I don't know if they I don't like I hope they caught on to the hint of the video that I posted. But that's the build that like will like that's the callback.
That,
That's gonna be a callback
yeah,
right there.
that's cool, man. Well, hey, bro, this was awesome. It was awesome
Yeah.
talking to you. This is a fun episode. A lot of information. I know later, we're gonna follow up on some sketches because I
Yeah.
definitely, I know I'm kind of stepping into that
Yeah.
other
I got
world
you, dude.
now,
Yeah, I got you. I
and
got you.
yeah, man, yeah, and we'll do it up. And also, thank you to everybody that was actively, hitting us with
Yeah.
questions, comments, and everything on the
Yeah, there's a
chat
lot
room.
of
Thank you,
everything.
all you guys that are here, and everyone else watching as well. Thank you for being here. This was episode 277 with Bullitt 87. Make sure you check him out on Instagram. I'll show the link right there on Instagram. Make sure you look him up and check out his work on there. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Another episode. So, all right, guys, peace out. Have a good one, and thank you again, Chester Bullitt 87. All right,
Let's
man.
go.
All right, peace out. Later.